Hello everyone, Darren here. The Absolution is a Tier 6 Mercenary heavy tank that many people believe to be OP, because it is capable of stopping Tier 8 rounds. But I learned that by simply aiming, you will see that the Absolution is not as big a deal as you may think. While many weak points may be small, they are very prominent all over the vehicle. So in today's video, we will look at the weak points all over the tank, so that you will know how to deal with them and that the Absolution is no longer an issue for you when you face it. So let's get started. Okay, so getting right into the pretty much the weak points here. We're going to start with the front of the Absolution. I'm using a Comet, and you're going to see here that I just threw up a photo of the highlighted weak points of the front of the Absolution. Now, I'm using the Comet because the gun, I just kind of figured it'd be an average gun. It's not a tier 8 that's going to just punch through the armor. But going down the list from the just looking at the bottom up, the lower plate is an obvious weak point. There's a weak point I was unaware of, and that is on the Absolution driver's left-hand side of the tank of a little cutout pocket where the headlight or horn, I can't tell which one it is, I'm guessing the headlight, that's where that goes. The gun mantlet on the gunner's sight is a weak point, and of course the top of the turret as well as the cupola are very prominent weak points that you can pen without the need of premium rounds. All these weak points I'm showing you can be penned without premium rounds. That is the point of me using the Comet. The penetration is not the best, but it's not an OP, high pen or high velocity gun of a tier 8. Moving on to the side of the Absolution, lots of weak points, very complex weak points. Starting from the top, we have the cupola. You're just going to see me just start shooting all around the tank, and you can see where these weak points are and are not. But pretty much the gaps, the large gaps on the side of the turret in between the I-beams are weak points. Don't shoot the I-beams. You see that they don't pen. And then actually the side of the gun mantlet is actually a weak point, and it will pen as well. Now you see me just testing the side here of the armor. You see that it penned in one place and the rest it's not penning. I actually go back through and you'll see a second clip of it going, and you'll see as well me doing a double check to make sure I didn't miss any weak points. But the entire lower half of the Absolution below that spaced armor side is a massive weak point. You'll pen along the tracks, you'll pen in that gap in between the spaced armor and the tracks, just all below that you will pen. Now you see me here, this was the double checking, and in this clip you see me just starting going methodically shooting along, and my assistant said shoot in between the I-beams, because that entire time you shot on an I-beam, and you're going to see the results here. And that was the additional weak points we discovered on the second half of the testing, and that is that if you shoot and land a round in between these I-beams, they will pen. You'll see that here once I go back through. If I just looking at it, almost all of them penned, if not all of them penned, when they were landed in between the I-beams. I also would like to mention that the armor profile is the exact same on the other side of the Absolution, which is why I'm only demonstrating one side of the tank. It is the exact same on the other side. Now moving on to the rear of the tank, I'm going to be shooting two different types of rounds because the back is a little bit complex here. It is spaced armor, but it's also not, super OP spaced armor. So obvious weak points are going to be the barren back of the turret, the cupola, the top of the turret roof that you can see that's sloped back towards you, the I-beams, the stowage boxes on the sides, you will not pen. But what you're going to see here on the back is that the top half is spaced armor. That's why it's highlighted in orange. You will, with HE, you will do almost pretty much no damage with those. But once you switch to AP, it will go through and it will full on connect and pen the armor. Then with the lower half of the hull, you see that it does a little bit more damage than the top half. But again, you switch to AP and it will automatically pen. So I had the top half highlighted in orange because it's more. That's mostly where the spaced armor is. But with the lower half, you will pretty much pen. Doesn't matter. And then just to test the tracks, you can see that I don't pen. The tracks are not a weak point. And then that pretty much is all the weak points on the Absolution. And that concludes today's video on Absolution weak points. I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this one, don't forget to subscribe. But until next time, this has been Darren of WotC Academy.